A very warm good morning to one and all present over here class. Welcome to the digital platform of APS. Now this is Pawan Kumar. Today I will start first lecture of chapter conic section. So class, in previous lecture I have completed straight line, limits and derivative. So now in today lecture I will discuss with a new topic, conic section. So let us start. Now new heading is conic section. New heading is conic section. Now what is conics? You know cones. Conic section is made up from cone. And how will you define the conic section? Means the section of cone cut by a plane, that is known as conic section. So how will you define conic section? Consider, section of cone, this is conic section, and section of cone cut by a plane, that is conic section. And how section you will obtain? So see, consider, let us consider L be any line or L1 be any line represent in Cartesian plane. This is the fixed line. So we have considered this is the fixed line. Now suppose any other line L2 that inclines at an angle alpha with the line L1. This is the line L2 that inclines at an angle alpha with the line L1. And now the rotation of line L2 about the line L1 will make double cone. When the line L2 will rotate about the line L1, you will get double cone. Now see, this is double cone. Now the line L1, this is known as fixed line. The line L1 is known as fixed line. And the line L2, this is known as generator line through which the cone is obtained. Cone is made. Now what is this point? This is the point, this is known as vertex of cone. This is known as vertex of cone. And what is alpha? Alpha is the semi-vertical angle. Alpha is the semi-vertical angle. And this is also known as, fixed line is also known as axis of cone. Axis of cone. And the cone above the vertex, the cone above the vertex, this is known as upper nap. upper nab. The cone above the vertex, this is known as upper nab. Right here. This is upper nab, and the cone lower the vertex, this is lower nab. See, now this is the terminologies of conic section. Now see, this is the terminologies of conic section and cone, how you will get cone. So I am going to define these points again. See, this is suppose V. Now see some important points. Some important points. Now see, in that figure you have seen V. The point V is known as vertex of cone. Vertex of cone. And vertex of cone lies on the axis of cone. Vertex of cone lies on the axis of cone. Now second point, from figure it is clear that the vertical line L1 is known as fixed line L1. Vertical line L1 is known as fixed line, and fixed line L1 is known as axis of cone. Now see, now come to the third point. Third point is generator line. Suppose the line L2 is making or makes an angle of alpha with the line L2, the line L1. Is known as generator line. Is known as generator line. Now see, now what is nap? See, next point is nap. So what is nap? Next point is naps. Now we can write this. The vertex V separate the cone into two parts. Vertex V separate the cone into two parts, or we can say vertex V separates the cone, divides the two parts, is known as naps. Now there are two types of naps. There are two types of naps. One is upper nap, and the second is lower nap. There are two types of naps. See, upper nap and a lower nap. Now what is alpha? So we can write the next point. The angle between the fixed line L1 and generator line L2 is known as semi vertical angle alpha, semi vertical angle, and it is semi vertical angle of cone. It is denoted by alpha. We can write here denoted by alpha. Now next point, the next point is See, which point is left? The cone above the x-axis, above the axis, above the vertex, not axis, above the vertex of cone is known as upper nap. Of cone. Now next point, the cone below the vertex of cone is known as lower nap. Of cone. See, now we can define with the help of we can define the conic section with the help of these 2 points. So how will you define the section of cone? The curves obtained by intersecting the right circular cone by a plane. The curve obtained. So how will you define the section of cone? So see, next heading is section of cone. So see, now the main heading is section of cone. So with the help of these points you can define the section of cone. Means we can say the curve obtained by intersecting a right circular cone by a plane. The curves obtained by intersecting the right circular cone, right circular cone by a plane, we can say not passing through the vertex of cone. Not passing through the vertex of cone. Is known as section of cone. Is known as section of cone. Now suppose I am taking the example, Suppose this is the plane. This is the plane that cuts or intersect the right circular cone. So you will see this is the intersection. This is the intersection of plane and cone. This is the section of cone. This is the section of cone. Similarly, suppose you have these plane, cuts the cone. Now this section is also known as section of cone. Now see, and in this figure, you know, this is the vertex, this is the generator line, this is the fixed line, and this is the plane. This is the plane. This is the plane. Now cones can be cut by using or cones or plane. Suppose this plane, this was the intersection or plane. Plane passing through. The plane passing through the cones in two ways. First ways is the plane passing through vertex of cone, and second, the plane passing through or the plane does not passing through the vertex. Now in next lecture you will see, we will talk about these points when the plane passing through the vertex of cone, that is degenerate of cone, and this is generate of cone. through this second point you will get the section of cone, and through this first point you will not get any section. So these are the 2 points you will see in next lecture.